Hello, and welcome to an update from the first video I had posted a few months ago that was regarding the opioid epidemic settlements that happened between Cuyahoga and Summit County. Now, if opioid is still kind of a weird just term you hear on the news, it's relating to four drugs. It's oxycodone, hydrocodone, and then heroin and fentanyl. I'm assuming you're very familiar with the last two because they've been responsible for a lot of deaths recently. Oxycontin and hydrocodone would be Oxycontin. It would be Vicodin. It would be other painkillers you're probably used to. So just to kind of put it into perspective, that's what we're talking about when we're saying opioid epidemic. Now, again, 400,000 deaths since 2000. That's 20 years. That's a lot of people. And not only is it a matter of how many people have died, but you also have to look at it in numbers with the amount of money that it has cost, because that's the only thing that we're able to go after the companies for. We can't bring people back to life, so we have to try to hit companies where it hurts when they did the same thing to us. Now, there is a council. It's called the U.S. Council on Economic Advisor, or the U.S. Council. Let's see here. Now, the U.S. Council of Economic Advisors, they've looked at the financial impact from 2015 to 2018. Now, that's only 3 of the 20 years, and they're estimating that it was $2.5 trillion. $2.5 trillion. We were only asking for $18 billion out of the companies, and 20 attorney or assistant attorney generals, they rejected that settlement, which is crazy because that's a lot of people. That's a lot of deaths. And if the only thing we have to go after them is money, then we have to go after them. We have to put them out of business. There's been some quotes saying that we need them to stay in business. America needs them to stay in business. I have to ask why. Why do we need a company that was okay with pumping out a lot of drugs that we were being lied to about how addictive they were, that doctors were being lied to? Doctors were being paid by drug companies to offer these drugs. I think that we need these companies to go out of business. We need to resolve their patents. We need to get rid of them. We need to allow other companies that can be held liable. That when someone, or a lot of counties, when hundreds of thousands of people die from being addicted to drugs that they're producing, they need to be put out of business. America doesn't need these people. We don't need these people. Now, one of the things that, again, we were talking about is these settlements. Now, Cuyahoga has already received $117 million, and Summit has received $104 million. Again, millions, not billions, not trillions, like the economic advisors had said the impact was in 3 years. Now, what is that really doing? What's that going to do for us? We're getting $1 million in adrenaline from Endo, one of the companies. We're getting $6 million in generic products and those are being given by Mallinckrodt. And then $25 million of Suboxone by Teva Manufacturing. So we have $32 million? That's a drop in the bucket. 400,000 deaths, $32 million. But the impact in 3 years was $2.5 trillion. So we have to ask why this is going on. And looking into this, a lot of the people that have been involved, whether it's spokespeople for certain offices, like for U.S. District Judge Dan Polster, they know that counties that go first have great monetary value in it. So the fact that Dan Polster selected these counties first because his courtroom happens to be in Cleveland, Ohio, and it gives him the power to rule and appoint different people to preside over the litigations, which are thousands. Now, we have to take a look and connect a couple dots here. The governor of Ohio, in 2001 to 2006, those were the most recent numbers I could find, received $965,000 from lawyers and law firms. Now, attorneys, they get 25% of the gross settlements in these cases, plus litigation fees. So we have 117 million, 104 million. We have millions of dollars coming in generic drugs. And we rejected an $18 billion settlement. Now, why? We have to start asking these questions. We have to stop just being given outcomes from the government, and we have to start taking responsibility for it. We have to hold these people accountable, because that many deaths, that many trillions of dollars of impact on our local communities, that's not right. And a couple $1 million isn't going to put that right. We need to start looking into things. We need to start looking into where Mike DeWine gets his money. We need to look at how U.S. District Judge Dan Polster is handling these appointments, because this is bigger than them. I mean, the mayor of Cincinnati, I think he said it best. At the end of the day, people are dying. And that's a regular daily thing. And that's not going to stop if we just keep taking a drop in the bucket to be able to try to provide treatment for these people, mostly uninsured people that don't have any other option than to reach out to these programs that are designed to help people. But we need to have a little more transparency. We need to see how these dollars are being spent. We need to make sure that they're actually going to people. They're not going to organizations or NGOs or nonprofits that are backed and owned by the people that are presiding over these cases. And hopefully I'll be able to check back in with you again in the coming months, hopefully weeks, because one of the things that I saw and read was that there's a time crunch for the counties now. Why is there a time crunch for us? Why do we have to all of a sudden snap in line and make things happen as quick as possible when these companies are the ones that did the wrongdoing? Trillions of dollars worth of wrongdoing in just a few years. My name's Pete Rosewitz. I hope you enjoyed this update, and I hope that you'll tune in for more of them, and also take a look for Encyclopedia America, Episode 3. That'll be coming out hopefully in the next day or two. So yeah, thank you again, and hey, vote for me on March 17th. I had to sing something like that in there, right? Mm-hmm.